Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. It's Michael from EmbodyTheState.com, and here in this video, we are going to be covering 5 common manifestation mistakes that a lot of people make. And it's not the only mistakes I see a lot of people make, but these are some of the more common ones, right? And there'll be other videos that cover other things that I see that we could be changing. But in this video, we're gonna cover specific topics. And in these topics, you're gonna learn something new, or you're gonna remember something that maybe you forgot. And all I ask is if you are inspired, you remember something that benefits you, or you learn something new, just hit that like button so therefore it reaches a greater audience and therefore it helps them the same way it helped you, and that's all I ever ask from you guys. So that being said, of course you already know where to go if you need me. Go to my website, the link is in the description, EmbodyTheState.com, and let's just jump right into it, okay guys? So the first mistake that I see people making is that they're putting power, in techniques and affirmations and things like that, right? In other words, in everything but themselves. And as you guys already know, the way I teach you guys, it's to not put power into anything outside of you, anything external, right? It's about understanding that you are the cause of everything. It's you, it's not the technique. So many times I see people asking, right, whether it's success stories from my community or even other people's, and I see people ask all the time, what affirmations did you use? What techniques did you use, right? And in their head, they're thinking, oh, if I just copy that, it's gonna do everything for me. Because, a lot of people think that, there's a secret magical, sequence, a combination of words that put in the right order will unlock your magical life, right? But in reality, if you're making no effort to change who you believe you are, you're making no effort to change, in other words, your state, and return to the state that you would prefer to make your dwelling state, then you're not really going to see much difference, at least not for a long time, right? And that's why I have so many people. If you go look at my YouTube comments of some past videos, there are people saying that they've been, blindly affirming or doing other things for 12 plus months, right? And that's a very common occurrence. If I showed you all my emails of people who come to me from just forcing techniques, and I've been told to force techniques and to force processes and force feelings and to not really think what they're doing. They just tell them, oh, just persist. Oh, just, you're crying. Oh, you're being abused in real life. Just persist. Just tell yourself they love you and this and that. That's why I don't teach that, right? It's because of comments like that, and I don't want to lead people that direction, right? And it's like I always tell people, even in the beginning of the video, right? It's like, why go the longer route when you don't have to, right? And I just like to cut the BS out and just focus on states, because who you are is what manifests, right? And yes, of course, doing certain techniques gets you to the point where you change yourselves and your beliefs, yes. But I like to go what I consider the faster route. I've tried so many other things, and I've made more mistakes than probably all of you watching, and that's why I'm able to sit here and to teach the law. But that being said, I just want you guys to understand there's no power outside of you. You don't need to pay people to write you affirmations. You don't need to pay people to, do things for you. And instead, what you need to do is invest in yourself, right? Invest in your education, your knowledge regarding the law. And not only that, but apply it, right? A lot of people are always trying to seek that affirmation or that magical technique, right? That's why these fads come and go, right? The 10K affirmation challenge, which, by the way, I don't know if you've seen that Reddit thread, but there's a lady who on Reddit for more than 30 days did 10,000 affirmations a day. And she said she got no results or anything, right? Now explain to me, do you think that 30 days of doing 10,000 affirmations a day sounds fun? Like, does God or the creator or source, do you think they need to do that in order to change their life? No. I understand that the reasoning is the repetition changes you, but it's like the longer route. It's like, why would you take a old beat up car an extra 100 miles when you can just take a Ferrari in a straight line and just in 10 miles you're there, right? And that's why I focus on who you're being. I focus on teaching the law on a deeper level, not just tell you, oh, say this and get your SP, right? Because I don't believe in that. I don't think that there's a magical sequence. That's why I tell people all the time, especially my clients, I tell them, the second you see a video that says, if you want your manifestation, if you want your SP, say these words, right away, I tell them run away, because anyone that studies source material will tell you that it's not a special magic sequence of words that unlock your desires and give it to you. If it was the case, then everyone on earth would just be following a cookie cutter set of affirmations, but it doesn't work like that for everyone, right? That's why I tell you guys to more go your own route, but to understand that you are the creator, you're the one that's running your own personal reality, as Seth talks about, right? And in his second book, Nature of Personal Reality, that title alone tells you everything. It's your personal reality. So when you know that everything is from within you, there's really no need to do anything other than accept what already is. And this is why I preach creation is finished all the damn time, right? Because if you understand that creation is finished and that your desires are already promised to you and they're already yours, then you understand that there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing to kind of, be upset about, or, oh, why is this not going to change? No, you have to have faith and understand that by identifying with what is already created, and you do that through whatever way of acceptance you want. For me personally, it's just deciding that I already am it. It's as soon as I'm aware that I want something, I just accept that I am the one that has it. And just that simple acceptance puts me into that state of consciousness, which then spawns the pictures and the thoughts and the so on, right? And that's why I tell people all the time, don't chase affirmations, don't chase techniques, don't look at other people who got successes and be like, what did you do? And now I have to copy it because what I was doing was wrong. Everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own, way of kind of accepting certain techniques, right? Some people prefer to visualize. Some people prefer affirmations. Some people prefer, when you do what I do, I'm just aware of a thought, and then I all the rules are in the back of my head. So for me, it's just, I can just accept things. I just accept that I am it. I accept that I have this. I accept that this is mine. And of course, I can see that I don't have it, but I understand that if I continue to embody this and that I stay in this conviction and I return to it, it's going to conform. My 3D has no choice but to conform to the changes I've made within. So understand that it's within you guys, okay? It's not in anyone else. So the next thing is being delusional, right? In the 3D. And, a lot of guys, like a lot of people take this and run with it the wrong way. And this, for example, my girlfriend was telling me about, she was scrolling on TikTok and she saw someone teaching the law, right? And I'm not going to name them because there's no point in sending any negativity their way. But one thing I will comment on is that this person was telling them pretty much they were getting abused by their partner, and like badly. And they were telling people that, all I had to do, all I did was telling people that as I'm being abused, I'm saying he loves me so much, he's saying such nice things to me. And she's a psychologist, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend told me, by textbook definition, that is literally psychotic. That's someone being psychotic. And I just wanted to touch on that because I know a lot of people have heard and have been told very similar things, and I want to touch on that because it's not about being psychotic. It's not about being crazy and delusional in your 3D. It's not about being abused or being hurt and then looking at that and being like, oh, I'm happy about it. It's not about that. You're allowed to acknowledge the bad. And if you're being abused in any form, get yourself somewhere safe first. Make sure you are safe internally and externally, right? And once you're safe and you're in a better spot, do what you have to do to get there. But then you start doing the inner work, right? You make sure that you are safe first. And if you don't want to take abuse, I tell people all the time, regardless of me knowing everything I know, if someone is abusing me, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make myself feel safe and better, and so on, right? I'm not going to sit there and be like, yeah, just because I teach the law and I know that reacting to this is going to be bad and blah, 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 I'm going to let them walk over me. I don't live like that. If someone treats me like crap, I understand the reasoning why, but in that moment, if I have to, set some boundaries, I will. So don't be afraid, okay? And to further touch on this, it's just, I want you guys to all understand, it's not about, looking at your 3D and then pretending it's something else. And that's something that a lot of people are doing, right? Like if they're manifesting money, they're looking at their bad bank account, they're looking at their looming debt and all this stuff. And instead they're looking at all these negatives, and then they're just telling themselves, oh, I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so rich, right? But they make zero effort to actually feel rich, to feel happy, right? And instead they're just saying these things blindly, hoping for a better result, and then no result comes, and then they end up in my emails, or they end up DMing me and like massive stories. And as I read them, I start seeing consistent patterns of how they're just doing things without really understanding why, So it's not about being delusional and really just letting your 3D walk over you. It's about acknowledging your 3D and how you pretty much interpret that. It's how you react to it, right? That's why I love this quote that says, circumstances do not make the man, it simply shows them who they are, right? So if your circumstances are showing you that you have people in your face bothering you, that someone's always mean to you, or that your SP is not conforming, and you know that they're moving on, and no matter what you do and the harder you try, they just go further and further, let that just show you, right? It's how you react to that shows you who you believe you are, right? Because the same thing with Adele, right? I tell my clients as an example sometimes, if someone walked up to Adele and said, Adele, you can't sing, you have a horrible singing voice, how do you think she's gonna react, right? How is her state, how is her consciousness going to react? Is she gonna be like, oh no, I should quit singing? Or instead, is she gonna start laughing, right? And she's gonna be like, okay, that's your opinion, it doesn't matter, because she knows, right? And the same thing, you have to know in here that what you do in here in imagination, what you feel true about yourself, is going to be your outer experience. And if you know that what you're doing inside is gonna lead you to your new, better outer experience, you start focusing on the end, and you start being able to look at your 3D and instead understand it's not what I want now, but I'm doing the work inside. And because I'm doing the work inside, therefore the 3D has to catch up, it has to conform. And I'm just on my journey enjoying the process of getting there, right? But always go to the end. I don't want you guys thinking that I don't want you guys in a state of I'm always waiting. I want you to understand that yes, there is a time delay, and you're just making the changes within to make that shift, right? But I want you to go to the end, right? That's why for me, when I see something I want, I give it to myself, right? If I see a nice car, you know, I feel the relief of having it, right? I don't envy people. I don't see a guy driving a Ferrari and being like, oh no, I'm so jealous, I wish I could get it, right? I don't give a crap, I can get it if I want. So it's like, instead I'm like, that's a cool car, and then I imagine myself with it for a second, and if it's a car that I would want, I just give it to myself, right? And then because I planted that seed and I'm not contradicting it, lo and behold, something will happen where I'll get the funds to be able to afford that car, right? That's how I started with money on my journey, you know, many years ago, right? And lo and behold, you know, things came to fruition for me, and I'm blessed to be able to say that I can make my own schedule. I work for myself. I have my own businesses. You know, I'm doing fine, right? I'm able to help my family a lot, and you know, I'm able to buy my nieces, you know, whatever, Xboxes, new headsets, computers. It doesn't matter. I can buy family whatever they need, right? Because I live by the law, right? I don't sit there and being like, oh no, how am I going to provide for my family? How am I going to help them? I understand I have to be the one already who has helped them in my imagination. I have to accept that this is who I am, right? And it's trusting the inner world more than the outer, right? But it's not about being psychotic and you know, trying to tell myself, oh yeah, I can buy everything. My SP loves me even though they're treating me like crap. Oh, they're so sweet to me all the time, even though they're telling you that, you know, they don't want anything to do with you, okay? So be very careful about being delusional. Don't be psychotic. To me, being delusional is trusting the 3D more than your inner world. And if you're doing that, then that's the type of delusion that I don't like, right? And I want you to really understand it's about trusting what's inside, right? That's why in my workshop, I have this thing called a core concept. And to just give a short summary of it, it's pretty much telling you it's a short explanation, but to sum it up, it's just telling you to trust your inner world. You have to live as if you understand that what you do in here gets pushed out. And no matter what you see out there, in here is doing the work. And then eventually it gets pushed out to your experience. So I want you to really understand you have to live by that core concept that your inner world is your number one and only priority, right? And your secondary world, which is your earth, you know, your 3D, your personal reality, is just it's pretty much the effect, right? You are the cause and your world is showing you, you know, who you believe you are, right? So that's why I tell people, don't pretend that the 3D is different. When you're getting crap in your face, don't pretend that you're happy about it. You can just accept it. You can acknowledge that this is your creation, and you can do what you need to do to get through it. But you have to understand it's your inner world that gets reflected. And so therefore you have to go within and give yourselves the things that you want, guys, okay? And the third thing here is overcomplicating SATs and too much effort, pretty much, right? So many people overcomplicate SATs. So many people, and when I say SATs, by the way, it's SATs, state akin to sleep. And it's something that Neville taught big time, right? And although I love Neville and I study all the greats, but Neville, with SATs, me personally, I used to do what a lot of beginners used to do, and they took it to heart. They're like, okay, I got to make it so vivid and so strong, and I have to believe that I'm in the scene. And of course that helps. I don't want you thinking that you know, if you can do it, that you don't have to do it, right? If you can do that and you can really get into your imagination like that to the point that you actually feel yourself into that experience and you feel the wish fulfilled because of that before bed, great. Do not change that, guys, okay? But for the people that struggle with visualization, for the people that are like me and really don't want to put that much effort, right? I discovered on my journey that it was really, as Neville's title for one of his books, Feeling is a Secret, I really found out feeling is the secret, because I realized, okay, my first ever manifestation, my big one, it was my first ever business. And I remember just seeing, certain messages that on my phone that implied what I wanted, and they were blurry. I couldn't see anything. Literally, I just saw the chat bubbles. But to me, those chat bubbles meant I got what I wanted. I got the confirmation, and therefore I was in the end. And I went to sleep feeling as if that was true. I accepted it without logic, without, denying myself. I literally accepted it, and I told myself, this is who I am. And then I fell asleep, just in peace, because I just accepted the wish fulfilled. And then, of course, a couple days later, I got the manifestation, and that taught me then and there, I did not need to be as vivid as Neville always preached, right? And that taught me, okay, so what else do I not have to do if I don't want to do it? And then I began experimenting. But regarding SATs, it's, if you're able to loop a scene and get into it and add sensory vividness every time you loop it and so on, that's great. If you enjoy doing that and you can do that, that's great, because that's a great way to kind of imprint your subconscious mind, to kind of, slip that state in. Because as you already know, in my other SATs video, it's you're locking in whatever state you fall asleep in for the entire duration of your sleep. But if you're like me, it might help you then to just understand it's about entering the feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? Sometimes I don't even do visuals. Sometimes I'm just aware of the biggest desire I have, whatever it may be, and I would just instantly accept that I am that person. Even though I'm in my bed, I accept that I'm falling asleep as the person that finally manifested it, right? And I'm feeling the relief of it, and I feel grateful, right? And it's so simple and fun. And some people, it even helps them to say thank you, right? As Joseph Murphy and even Neville talk about thank you, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you're saying thank you, you're thinking of your desire and you're being grateful for it, right? Because remember, gratitude is, in itself, it encompasses everything. How can you be grateful for something if you don't have it, right? And that's why I tell people all the time, if it helps you, say thank you, or say it's done, or even just like me, be aware of your thought. And when I say thought, it means the desire, and then just accept it, just boom, right? Bring it down to you and accept that it's who you are, and you rise in consciousness by that, right? And then you fall asleep at peace like that. So that's all I want you guys to do regarding that, okay? I don't want you guys thinking that has to be this 45-minute, 60-minute plus, visual where you have to, put on binaural beats and really force yourself to feel these things and to, make it so vivid, and you have to spend hours and hours visualizing it. Trust me, that's way too much effort, right? And I'm living proof that you don't need to do that. So take it from me. If you aren't into that, you don't have to do it, right? Just understand that yes, there are benefits to being able to do that, and you can always train your imagination to be able to do that easier. But if you're like me, you're lazy and you want to get quicker results. And for me, I noticed I could get the same results cutting out like 80% of the work and just focusing on the feeling of the wish fulfilled before bed, right? So you can go however you want about that, but just understand that SATs doesn't have to be what a lot of you think it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's what matters. What does it mean to you? What does that scene imply to you, right? If you're trying to get your SP back, are you able to visualize yourself sitting at a restaurant and then you're able to see the cups on the table and to hear the chatter around you and to really engulf yourself in that environment, in that moment, right? And seeing yourself or seeing your partner across from you or even beside you and you guys being cute together, right? And to you, that means the wish fulfilled. And then you start accepting that and you fall asleep. That's great. And like I mentioned, if you want to just have the same feeling, but without all the visuals, it gets you the same results. So just remember, it doesn't have to be this crazy 1 hour process that a lot of people are kind of making it, right? It doesn't take 45 plus minutes for you to embody a state, right? Of course, it takes some practice to get to the point where you actually step into that visual, but you don't have to take it that serious. It's more about how are you falling asleep feeling? Who do you believe you are when you fall asleep? And make that your focus, okay, guys? So nothing wrong with making things vivid and really doing it the traditional way. But if you're like me and it's too much effort for you and you just want to go to sleep quicker, it's okay to fall asleep with the wish fulfilled in any other way that you want, right? Just make sure that as you fall asleep, you're accepting that you already have what it is that you want, okay, guys? And the last thing that I want to talk about is manifesting for others, right? And putting power in them. And when I say manifesting for others, I mean paying people to manifest for you. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've rejected money. I remember the first time someone ever asked me to manifest for them, they offered me $1,000. Sorry, it was like 1,000 euros. They said 500 euros up front, and then they'll give me an extra 500 once it arrives. And of course, and I know so many people who would have just said, yeah, they would have been like, oh, sure, I'll take it because it's a free $500, right? Or more than dollars, it's euros. But, I told the person, and if you're watching this, this was a while ago too, but if you're watching this, feel free to tell them the truth because word for word, what I said. And I told them, I'm like, look, it doesn't work the way you think it does. Yes, in my reality, I can manifest for every single one of my clients, every single one of you. In my reality, because I have no attachment to you, it's so easy for me to just see you as successful. And in my reality, you will bring me a success story, right? And you will have the good news. But if you are not consenting to that in your reality, if you are not, making the changes on your end in your personal reality, because remember, we all have a personal reality. If you're not doing that, then guess what's going to happen? You are going to walk into the timeline where you still don't have anything and you paid me money and you still don't have results. But in my reality, I'm going to experience the version of you that is a success, right? And that's why I don't really take money for that. There's some absurd prices I've seen out there. Even my girlfriend was kind of looking at other, some prices that people charge for this service. And I was shocked at how expensive it is, first of all. And I was like, do these people know that those people, if they don't make changes, they're never going to get their desire? And especially if they're just banking on you to do it, or do they know this and they're still taking the money knowing it, which both are wrong in my opinion, right? So, just be aware of that. Don't, in my opinion, don't pay people and don't offer me money to do it for you. Please, save your money, right? I'd rather you spend 25 bucks on the complete reader from Neville Goddard on Amazon and just study that, 10, 20, 30 minutes a day minimum, as opposed to paying me $200 and then, you putting all your faith in me and making zero effort to change yourself, zero effort to change your beliefs and how you feel about yourself. And instead just spiraling all day and hoping, oh, Michael will do this for me so I can just sit here feeling like crap all day. I don't want you guys to live like that. I want you guys to empower yourselves. I want you guys to understand you are the ones in charge and that you create your own reality. Everything is already created. You just have to accept what already is, guys, okay? So don't fall victim to, those traps of, oh, pay me $200 and for 10 minutes I'll spend 10 minutes of my time just seeing you a success, right? I do that all the time for free for my clients. So many of my clients can even comment and say that I've told them, that I'll see them as a success, right? Because I've told that to so many different clients, right? And if I didn't tell them that, I still do it anyways, right? Because in my reality, I want you guys to be winners. But there are a lot of versions of yourselves that you have to take account for. And you have to take account for your life. And you have to be responsible for how you feel and your beliefs, right? You can't just put all your weight on one person and be like, okay, I'm going to throw money at you and you do all the work and I'm going to sit here spiraling and stalking social media and feeling bad that they're on a date with someone else, or that I'm broke and I'm just going to give you my last paycheck and hope that you do everything for me. And in reality, you're just setting yourself up for failure, okay? So, this video just covers these topics, and I hope you kind of, it puts some things together for you guys, right? I really love all of you, and I want all of you guys to succeed. And I don't want to see you guys waste time or to struggle or to suffer. I don't want to see more emails of people saying that it's been 12 plus months of just blindly doing techniques and zero results, right? I had a client yesterday who was telling me, I got introduced to the law of assumption through blindly doing techniques, being told to affirm blindly. I've paid people that told me, even though my life was falling apart, to just, it's okay, persist, just affirm, affirm, affirm. And, this client even told me, my life actually got worse. And as a joke, I asked her when she was telling me that she began her journey blindly doing things. I just asked her playfully, I said, and how did that work out for you? And we both laughed because, she's on the call with me. So of course it didn't work out well for her, right? And when I explained to her just how simple it is to apply the law and how easy it is to actually manifest, she was smiling and happy and she felt like, oh my God, I've wasted so much time. I didn't know it was this easy. And I told her, don't look at it like a waste of time, because now when you get your successes, you're going to be able to really appreciate it more. You're able you're going to be able to understand, okay, I did this thing and it didn't work that well for me. I found this other thing that makes more sense and it's more logical and it's much easier and less taxing on my mind, and it's going to get your results quicker. So I tell people all the time, focus on who you are being, right? Bill Gates does not walk around saying, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich every day, right? Even though he's already rich, right? Because remember, you're trying to be what already exists. So let's say Bill Gates, if you want wealth, right? So Bill Gates is already in the end, he's already rich, right? But does a rich person walk around telling themselves, I'm rich every day, 8 hours a day? No, right? So why would that be the end if you're trying to manifest wealth? That makes no sense, right? I understand the logic is, oh, you have to do it until you convince yourself. But you know what's faster to convince yourself? What's faster to actually change your beliefs? Is feeling. It's the knowingness, it's the conviction of who you are, of what you are being, guys. That's how you change yourself. Every time you feel something good or bad, you are imprinting your subconscious mind. You are sending signals to your mind, right? And I want you to remind yourself of this, right? So that's why I tell you guys, practice indifference on all the stuff that bothers you and practice returning to the knowing that your inner world gets pushed out. Okay, guys? It's not a scary journey. It doesn't have to be, right? This is a journey you can walk with your chin up and be proud of yourself, because you are capable of everything. There's nothing that you can't do. So I want you all to understand that you are in control of your own personal reality. Just how I'm in control of mine, you are in control of yours. And if I could be standing here where I am right now and compared to where I was many years ago, I'm telling you, it's a day and night success story. And if I can do it, 100% you guys can do it, because I'm not a genius. I am not the smartest man on the planet, right? And I don't care to be, right? I'm okay with that. I understand that I'm living my own life. I'm in my own lane. I don't give a crap about what's outside my lane, right? So it's the same thing with you guys. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay, guys? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something new. And I'm going to have another video coming out soon. So just hang tight. Don't worry about it. And I'm excited to see you all again. Okay, guys? So take care. And thank you, everyone, for the likes and for subscribing. And I love you all. And we'll see you again soon. Okay, guys?